There's always somebody that's brand new to concealed carry, and if you're that person, I've got 8 important tips to get you started on the right path coming up. How's it going, everybody? It's Bishop here for Tactical POV. Thanks for tuning in for another video. And this one here, I thought I had to come back to maybe and talk about this again. I can't remember if I talked about it previously. I'm sure I have, either in the video on this channel or somewhere else. But being new to concealed carry, I bring this up now is because more states are now becoming more constitutional carry. My state here of Ohio, we just, the governor just signed our constitutional carry into law back here a few weeks ago. So ours will go into effect, I believe, June 13th or 14th. But that's when our constitutional carry will go into effect. Alabama signed theirs into, I believe, a week before us, and I think Pennsylvania signed theirs in the same week as us, or somewhere in there. So, and now Georgia just recently signed their constitutional carry into law. Now, in my opinion, this is a great thing for the Second Amendment, man. This is how it should have been a long time ago, and I am absolutely ecstatic for it. I really am. Now, behind that, this is where other things come into it. As I said, if you're new to concealed carry, I'm going to give you 8 tips and talk about what you need to know right off from the giddy up to get you started on the right path. And the first thing is picking out the type of gun that you want to carry, the size and the caliber. Okay, that's very, very important. Being new to this thing, if you haven't seen my other videos as far as let go of the ego, don't let your ego get ahead of you when it comes to concealed carry and your EDC. And what I mean by ego is the caliber of gun. I know a lot of guys, because a lot of guys work on that ego thing, man. I know we struggle with it, as far as, man, I want the biggest caliber, man, because I want that knockdown power, which knockdown power doesn't exist. It's stopping power. So, you go with a 45 or 40 or something like that, because you hear all the myths, man. Come on, I've heard so many of them. Christ, I forgot. It's been so many of them. So, well, I just don't want to be able to shoot him once or twice and he's down, with a bigger caliber, Man, I just want that. Like, it's harebrained stupid, okay? I know this, and I say this is because I used to shoot a 45 for years. I carried a 45 for years. The thing about it is that it's funny how over time, because of size, dimension, and caliper, and then depending on how you carry it, you slowly start to back away from that 45 caliber and start going down to either 40 or to a 9mm. I would suggest that you start with the 9 because, for one, it's the most popular ammo around. It's the most popular caliber to carry. Plus, honestly, it's more effectively efficient. And what I mean by effectively efficient, that means if you're able to control the recoil, even if you control the recoil on a 45, I control the recoil on a 45 pretty good, but it's really good actually. But the size and dimension of the gun does matter, along with proper grip and everything else and how to hold it. Being effectively efficient means if you can still put groupings in the combat zone, in the kill area at multiple distances away and still keep it roughly in the kill zone. If it's better with a 9mm and you're having issues with it in the 40 and the 45, then those two calibers are not effectively efficient at multiple distances. So get something that has less recoil, easy to manage, and you can manage it very easily on the move at different distances, because concealed carrying out here and defending your life, there's nothing perfect about this stuff, man. It's totally imperfect. All right, so make sure you get the right size, fit your hand like a glove first, then you go with the size and then the caliper and dimensions of the gun and stuff. Do your homework on this. 2, and before I get started, number 2, guys, if you're getting anything out of this video, man, make sure you hit that like button, share, subscribe. I appreciate it so much, guys. I really do. So let me get to number 2. 2, carry position. Pick a proper carry position, which one you feel comfortable with. You've got appendix and you've got strong side. Okay, I carry appendix. I've been carrying appendix for quite some time, long time. I used to carry strong side a long time ago, but from lifting everything, joints have gotten stiff. I'm getting older, man. My joints, as much as I still stretch, I still find it to be a bind and inconvenience. But I love appendix carry myself personally, because appendix carry keeps the gun up front, it keeps it protected, it's less printing, and it's more biomechanically efficient from this grab here quicker than it is strong side for me. Find what works for you and what you're comfortable with. That's a big key. So pick one. I would not suggest a shoulder rig, because you got to remember, this is concealed carry. Shoulder rig, you want to keep it concealed as much as possible. Shoulder rigs are impractical, okay? Cross draw would probably work good for you if you're driving. That's a good draw position, or appendix position. Strong side position when you're driving makes it very difficult to reach for that firearm down here on your hip on the strong side. You got the seat belt, seat buckle, and it's combined, you're confined, especially if you've got a console, center console, which most vehicles, we all have center consoles right there. It just makes it completely binded, a very, very hard position to draw from. If you get carjacked in a carjack situation or something like that, we have to deploy this firearm. Very hard in that. So pick one that works for you. Don't go by what I say, I'm just giving you my opinion, all right? Number 3, gun belt. I cannot stress this enough. Get a gun belt. A belt that is designed for your EDC, your concealed carry. Get one. Store-bought belts are not good. They are not good enough, okay? And they will wear out in time. I'm telling this from experience. Anybody else who's been carrying for a long time will tell you that a store-bought belt is really not designed to carry your EDC. Wear them out, they're too flimsy. They move in position and everything else like that. They don't keep your weapons stored and stowed right there in that muscle, that mind and muscle memory position, because it shifts too much. And I said, I know from experience, because I broke 2-3 of them over years before I finally bought a gun belt, okay? They're designed for that. So get a gun belt. Just get one. Just get a gun belt. Number 4, get a good holster. A good holster, and what I mean by that is a very good custom holster. There's some budget holsters out there that are pretty good, not bad in price, but is it custom? Universal holsters, they are no good, okay? They're no good. I've used, when I first started carrying years ago, tried using a universal holster. When I first started out, it was trash. I wound up throwing it away because it was just horrible. They're no good, okay? So get a good holster, good custom holster. And you got to find, and this is trial and error stuff, man. This might cost you a little bit. Okay, I know what holsters work for me. I'm a G-code fanboy, I'm sorry. I mean, it took me years, but I can say that because I spent a ton of money on other holsters over the years since I first started carrying concealed up until, I don't know, 3 years ago, 4 years ago or something like that, you know, to where I actually found a holster that fits me. Okay, you've seen some of my videos already, I talked about it. You've got Alien Gear, We the People, Bravo Concealment, I mean, there's so many of them out there, guys. Just find one. You got Black Hawk, anything else, G-code, as I said, just it's trial and error. You got to find something that works for you and that fits, all right? So make sure you look for it, look it up, customize. Like I said, but stay away from the universal stuff. Get a good holster. Number 5, extra magazine. Yes. Carry an extra magazine. Why do I say carry an extra magazine? Because, for one, you don't know if you may possibly have a mechanical malfunction with the magazine that you have in your firearm that you carry, okay? You don't know that. You don't want to leave yourself the chance. That's one reason. The second reason is, too, you don't want to be outgunned. There may be a situation where you might have to shoot your way out of it, and that one magazine, under stress, under complete pressure of what you're trying to do, trying to save your life, man, there's some shots that's just not going to hit that threat. You're trained to make sure that you hit the threat every single time because you're responsible for every single bullet that leaves your firearm. But here in the real world, let's be real, man, that's tough to do, especially when, as I said, you got fear going on. Panicking, try not to panic, trying to control all of that fear. That comes with more training. Talk about it in a sec. But carry a magazine, an extra one. Like I said, you don't know if the one malfunctions, and if it does, you got to do a reload, go to that spare right now, get back into the fight. So always carry extra ammunition, a spare magazine. Number 6, unless you do it like that. Test your defensive ammo. Make sure that you test it, okay? Whatever you carry, hollow points, hydroshocks, defensive rounds, whatever company or brand that you go with, every caliber, it doesn't matter. Whatever you carry, test it. Make sure that that ammunition is viable for that firearm that you carry. Because, oddly enough, some self-defense rounds act different through different types of guns. It's not almost universal that they work, okay? Some may have a slight little issue. Make sure you test it. Some instructors will tell you to shoot, 100, 150, 200, 250 rounds. Me, I've been doing this for years. I've been teaching for years. So I'm telling you to at least shoot 50 to 100, okay? Because it's expensive, without a doubt. I get it, but let's get real. You run 50 rounds through it, okay? You pretty much got it locked down. You run 100 rounds of self-defense rounds through your gun, yeah, it's pretty much locked down. It's viable, okay? So just make sure you test it. So even if you change brands or something, you want to go with a different brand, make sure you still do the same thing. Test that, make sure it works, okay? So don't skip out on that and don't sell yourself short on the ammunition. Make sure you check that self-defense ammunition for sure. 7 is clothing. Make sure you check your clothing when you start to carry. Your clothing may have to be different. It might have to change it up a little bit because, for one, you don't want anything restrictive, okay? Sweatshirts, hoodies, anything else like that. If it's cuffed, make sure it's a very loose cuff. Make sure it's not tight, all right? Also, your clothing shouldn't be farther than basically half of your hand to your fingers, okay? So what I mean by half the hand, I mean it shouldn't be lower than here with your arms straight down. That way, your fingers are able to roll and grab that garment and move it out of the way. Plus, it gives you enough room to when you reach very high, if you're reaching for something like that, you can still keep your weapon concealed and not print. I know printing is going to be an issue to a degree, okay? The optimum goal is not to print at all, but let's face it, you might have just a little bit of printing of your firearm. It depends on the size, the holster, your gear, everything around it depends on how much your gun may or may not print. So keep that in mind as well, but definitely check your clothing. Nothing restrictive around where you carry your firearm, whether it's appendix or strong side. Make sure it's loose enough, okay? Football jerseys, hockey jerseys, basketball jerseys, long garments like that you wear that are extremely long. If you remember seeing my other video before, what I did with my first one about appendix versus strong side carry, okay, the pros and cons of that. Part 1, I did that with my cousin. Perfect example, had a football jersey on and you saw the length on that. That was just way too long, because understand, the more clothing that you have, the farther it is to reach, grab, move that thing and travel way up to get it out of the way, because you got to clear the garment first before you can get to the firearm. That's too much. It's too much in the way, too much entanglement, everything. Something like as you see with my hoodie here, I make sure that none of my hoodies, none of my clothing reaches farther than half of my hand, no farther than down here. Everything is at least half of my hand where I can roll and grab my fingers straight down, or here, down here at the base, so I have a whole full hand. So it's no lower than that, okay? So make sure you check your clothing. And last but not least, number 8, training. Get more training, okay? Your concealed carry course is not enough. You need to get more training, especially now that states are now going into constitutional carry. I'm a strong advocate for more training. I'm even stronger now because of this, because it eliminates the fact that you're not required to take any training if you're a lawful gun owner. You can basically buy your firearm, buy a holster and everything else, put it on your hip, there you go, and there's your carry. Now, the problem with that is I'm huge on constitutional carry. I'm also big on getting education too as well. Get training. If you're brand new to this thing, to carry and conceal, get an advanced course in, because an advanced course, courses like mine, other courses out there, we teach you exactly the proper way to carry a firearm, how to handle it, how to shoot it, how to be accurate with it, how to be efficient with it. Also understand that there's laws that I will still teach even in mine, along with my concealed carry class. It's the same thing in the advanced stuff too. Understand the mindset behind this entire thing and what it's about, okay? You gotta have the right mindset, because if you don't, you're gonna get yourself caught up in a lot of legal stuff, man, that you really don't want. You don't want that smoke, because once a ball starts rolling on it, I promise you, it's hell to get it to stop. It is. So get training, get the proper training so you don't risk making mistakes out here just defending your life or someone else in your family. Get the training, get the knowledge, okay? I can't stress it more enough. I say it a lot. I sound like a broken record, but it's true. Get more training, man. You can never get enough. Well, there you go. 8 tips, man, to concealed carry for you guys who are just starting out into this thing, especially as states now jump on board with more constitutional carry, eliminates the concealed carry portion as far as the training for it. Get more training. I cannot stress this enough, guys, because you need it. Just don't automatically think you assume that you know what you're doing. If you've never taken a course before, haven't taken an advanced course, then I'm telling you, you don't. You really don't know what you're doing. All right, there's so much more to this thing than what you think, than what you think TV and Hollywood might show you. Trust me, that's a bunch of garbage. Get some real training. Understand what this thing is really about. All right, so guys, if you like the video, I appreciate it, man. Give me a like, thumbs up, share this content, subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for the support over the years, guys. I'm gonna try to keep pumping them out as much as I can. But the new tag now, because of constitutional carrying picking up, here's my new tag. Be a responsible gun owner and get more training. I'll see you on the next one.